Hello and welcome to iBluairJgR Gaming for Comedy. This is a quick overview. Blade & Soul is a Korean action MMORPG that was originally released in 2012 that was recently re-released and localized for Western audiences. While this game was originally released in 2012, it doesn't feel old. In fact, it feels completely fresh and unlike anything I've ever experienced before. A deep but easy to understand combat system, a beautifully rendered world, and a fully voiced main story questline makes Blade & Soul a truly unique MMO experience. The basic gameplay in Blade & Soul is exactly what you'd expect from an MMORPG. Questing, crafting, gathering, PvP, dungeons, you see my point. This game isn't actively trying to be unique, that is, until you take a look at the combat system. There are plenty of other action RPGs and action MMOs on the market, but Blade & Soul's combat system feels refined and something close to perfect. Instead of learning 1 or 2 skills per level, going through the early game with slash and hard slash, Blade & Soul entrusts you with the majority of your class's toolkit from the get-go, and teaches you how to use it all within the first few hours of gameplay. It's an intense learning experience, but one that feels well worth it as you slaughter crabs and wolves with style. As you continue to progress, you learn more skills, enhance your already fleshed out toolkit with skill points, and travel through the world taking no prisoners. It's very fun, especially when you're taking on dungeons with a small group of friends. When you're not having fun killing bad guys, you're going through the game's main story questline, which will ultimately send you back to the battlefield to kill more bad guys. Thing is, like I mentioned earlier, the main story is fully voiced and has a significant number of well-animated cutscenes. Although it does have its low points, sitting back every once in a while to have some quest dialogue read to you is nice. Also, the voice acting is good, it's reminiscent of the English dub of Kung Fu Hustle. Next up we have the player versus player combat. Pretty much every MMORPG has some form of PvP added to its mix, but with Blade & Soul, the PvP isn't just added, it's an integral part of the gameplay experience. You're in no way forced to engage in player versus player combat, but if you do, whether it's in the open world or in the arena, you're going to feel very good about yourself, even if you lose. The combat system in Blade & Soul makes every move you make feel important and impactful to the outcome of your match. Which means when the dust settles, you can pinpoint exactly where you messed up and how you were bested. As far as balance is concerned, every class is overpowered and whatever class you play is going to need a buff. But that's just how it is. I have to say it again, Blade & Soul is a truly unique MMO experience. The combat is complex, challenging, and incredibly polished. The story isn't perfect, but it gives you a purpose and it's presented well, and that means a lot. The game does have its flaws, the world isn't seamless, and there are a lot of loading screens to go through. But the little things that bother me about this game are more or less outweighed by the amazing combat, beautiful world, and entertaining story. What does all that mean? If you're a fan of action games with a high skill cap, MMORPGs, and quirky kung fu movies, Blade & Soul will be a worthwhile investment, especially because it's free.